Now we're going to try to do our right side frame rail. That one will be a little bit tricky because we are going to move the bend further back so it doesn't dig into the racetrack. So I'll have to figure out where we're going to do that at. And I think we're at 20 degrees bend on, or 20 degrees angle on the left front frame rail. So I'm sure the right front will probably be, I'm shooting 15 degrees maybe. With a longer bend, we was 18 center to center on the left front, so we'll probably be double that on the right front. So we'll give her a try. On our right front frame rail, we're going to come back about 12-14 inches further with the bend than the left front, so it doesn't dig in the racetrack. So what I'm going to do is I've got on this left side tube marked where I want it. I'm going to put a straight edge on top of the frame rail to where I want my bend to start, and I'm going to see what degree that is, so I'll know what degree to bend that next frame rail. Here's where my bend's going to start. I'm just going to go to the bend up here, hopefully like it is close. We'll see what degree that is. The left front was 20. And as I thought, the right front will be 15 degrees. So we'll try to do this 15 degrees and cross our fingers. Focus rest. If not, we've got more duty. So we got the 15 degree bend on the right front. What I'm finding is I'm going to have to go a little bit past, like I said, 3 or 4 degrees and maybe even more, and then take some of the bend out because it's harder to put it back in and re-bend it if it's not far enough. So we're at 15 degrees on the right front. We had to go 30 inches center to center on bend, where the left front I think we were 18 inches, so that's moving that right side bend back for the right front frame rail not to dig in. Like I said, you can see here, it's raised almost 1.5 inches. That's how much it's springing up. So even though I'm level here, I'm at 3 degrees up there. When I release that, you'll see that thing fall down. Take this unlevel. About 3 degrees too far here, so once I release that, I should be level. Get that one cut to length and we'll sit in there and see if it fits. Okay, so we finally got the right front frame rail in, and yes, I had to bend another one. I bent the first one. I think we've been at 30 inches center. It made the bend come back too far on the jig here, which kicked this frame rail up in the air at 15 degrees. In order to keep this level, I had to shorten this bend up here to get my frame rails parallel with each other at 0 degrees. Front frame rails are 0 degrees, jig's at 0 degrees. So we're parallel there. We do have kick out in these frames. They're not perfectly straight down the line. We kick them in to bring the right rear frame rail in. And we also kick the left front out, the back in. What we're doing is making this car more of square through the center. Then, I don't know if you can tell, on the old style cars, we get wider as we go in the back. We're like 29 inches in the front, and I think maybe 34 at the back. So we're kind of squaring up in the center of the race car to bring our rear frame rails in, just for tire clearance and just to clean it up a little bit. So we'll see what we're going to do next here. I'll probably measure these out, make sure the frame rails cut to length, so I don't have to take them back out again. The left side frame rail will be left a little bit longer than the right side. The right side will end probably just ahead of the 4-link plate holes, and the left side will have to come back. This is our Panhard bar mount here. Our left side will have to come back far enough that we can get our Panhard bar pull in there, so we'll have to leave it a little bit longer. So I'll see what we're doing next. Okay, we got our front frame rails cut to length. They can actually stay in the jig now. We've got to cut where we want. The front's cut to length. We're all clamped in. So what we'll do now is I've raised the back frame rails up an inch higher than what we had before, just to bring it in a little bit closer to the shock mount. We'll probably do something a little bit different there. Square tube frame rails are bent about 45 degrees. I want to bend these maybe about 50 to give us a little bit more Panhard bar adjustment height. You can see here, this is a 45 degree bend here. If I bring this bend up a little higher here, I can get my Panhard bar up a little bit taller. Just give us a little bit more clearance. So we're going to try 50 degrees. If it doesn't work, we'll make another one. Okay, we got it bent at 50 degrees. We're going to mark where we want our frame rail to come out to. Put a smart level on it to make sure that's level. We'll mark this pipe cut, and then we'll cope it and fit it in. And then we'll measure from this bracket to the back of the frame rail where we want to cut it off. I think it's 29.5. I got it written down. We'll put that in, level it up. We are going to move this frame rail in a little bit for tire clearance, so it won't actually come straight out to the jig, so we'll have to put a new tab on there for where we relocate that. 0. Where 0. Way. 0. So we got an angle mark cut there. We'll end up cutting it straight and leaving it probably 3/4 of an inch long because of our cope, and then we'll fine tune it from there. We've got both rear frame rails in. Put the right side in. Pretty much matched it up. 50 degrees worked. Got the back level. Brought the rear in. You can see how far. Here. We also narrowed the left rear up just a little bit also. Kind of square the rear end up a little bit, square the clip up. So we got the rear clips on. Now the next thing I'm going to do is actually just put the back fuel cell bar in. So our rear clip's going to be 36 inches on center. It's about 4 inches narrower than what it was on this other car. Gives us a little bit more right rear frame clearance. We pulled the left rear end a little bit just to clean the left side up. We'll make the car a little bit more rigid, smaller box, rather than having a big, wider rear clip which flexes a little more. So we'll have to see what that does to it. Most of you probably seen I just cut that tubing with some tin snips. It's 083 DOM tubing. We don't have a fancy pipe notcher. Once you cope it a little bit, you can fine tune it with the tin snips and then just sand it down. This whole car will be built out of 083 DOM. Some of our bumpers and stuff will be ERW, so that's the route we're going with the tubing. We'll get this rear bar tacked in and go on to the next bar. Show where we're at right now. We got right side frame rail in for clearance. Got our center X in. Had to put a bend in it right here to bring it up to the frame rail. So that'll pretty much end it for this week's video. Next thing we'll do is we'll put the front cross member in, and then we'll probably start with the back hoop. Let us know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll get this thing rolling. Get this car together and get her off to the powder coater, see how it goes.